It really is a very great pleasure to me to introduce this video of your graduation. We hope it will provide a good memento for you and your family of this happy occasion. And in particular, we hope it will remind you of friends and places that you've got to know in your years here. We also hope that it will reinforce your feeling, which I'm sure is thoroughly deserved, of pleasure and pride at your achievement in graduating from this university. Now, the University of Manchester, like all universities in the United Kingdom, need their graduates very much. We need you to carry our reputation to the four corners of the world. This is a role that perhaps was allowed to lapse somewhat in the recent past, but we are now working here in Manchester very hard to try to bring our graduates into the family. To this end, we are developing and will send to you from time to time a magazine called Manchester Graduate. This will tell you quite a lot of what's going on and what are the new developments in your university. I hope you will receive it and enjoy reading it. The university's come an enormous way since John Owens founded his college down in the centre of the town in 1851. The university has grown and its reputation has expanded. That reputation is very much in the hands of its graduates.
It is my privilege on this important occasion to offer to all visitors to the university a very warm welcome. The support given to students by their parents, spouses, relations and friends has been fundamental to them. I have no way of knowing the level of support or sacrifice you have provided, but for our part, we are very grateful. The University of Manchester is one of the great British civic universities and is the largest university outside London, having some 11,000 full-time students, over 2,000 staff, and occupying an area of 99 acres within the Manchester Education Precinct. The origin of the university lay in Owens College, founded in 1851 with a legacy of £96,942, 1 shilling and twopence, from a Manchester businessman called John Owens. The size and complexity of the present university is such that a sum equal to the whole of the original legacy is currently expended in less than half a day. Now, universities are communities in which teachers and students are involved in a process of continuous learning, and they occupy a very special place in society. Perhaps contrary to popular belief, universities are not ivory towers insulated from the harsh realities of the world. Many of them were set up for very practical reasons. The ancient universities of Europe were, after all, set up to promote the training of the clergy, doctors and lawyers. In practice, every institution of higher learning exists because of social demands. More than a century ago, that is when Manchester University was being established, Alfred Marshall described education as a national investment. And rather more recently, Peter Drucker indicated that education was a crucial type of investment and that highly educated man has become the central resource of today's society, the supply of such men and women being a true measure of the potential of society. While universities exist because of social demands, their quality depends partly on how well they fulfil these demands, while at the same time maintaining a balance between the technological and vocational on the one hand, and language and literature on the other hand. The role of universities must continue to be the shaping of people's minds, not of course in what they think, but in the way they do it. There can be no doubt that the majority of aspirants for higher education regards universities as their first choice. And equally, as shown in a recent independent opinion poll, no support in any age group, religion or social class for any further reduction in government spending on universities. The degrees which will be awarded today are not just a qualification, but are evidence of ability, the ability to learn and think for yourselves. As the form and content of even the most traditional jobs changes, the ability to learn and relearn becomes vitally important. Your education is aimed at the cultivation of the proper state of mind to question existing notions and accept new ideas, since your disciplines are all at risk in this rapidly changing society. It's not surprising, therefore, to find an appreciable presence today of those who are taking postgraduate qualifications. You have added greatly to your own knowledge, and for those taking research-based degrees, to the sum of human knowledge. Some of you, whether taking first or postgraduate degrees, are from overseas and will shortly be returning home. The university values greatly the contributions you have made to university life in the mutual understanding such contact between people of differing nations brings. The associations you have formed in learning and in friendship will form a permanent bond with Manchester. The period over which you have all been studying has been a testing period and one of great financial stringency for us. Since 1980, universities have suffered a financial cut in government grant by 20% in real terms. Just a little less for Manchester University because of the high overall quality of our research as judged by the National Research Evaluation Exercise. If continued at the present rate, cuts will reach 30% by 1990. How many in this audience would relish the prospect of budgeting for their business or household on such a basis? Over the same period, the value of the student grant, a maintenance grant, has fallen by some 17%, and I'm sure I do not need to spell out the serious implications of this, especially to those who have had to borrow heavily from those who are only too willing to lend. Present government policy is to cut investment in higher education in line with a long-past fall in the birth rate. The continuation of this can only result in the acceptance of a slow decline into national mediocrity and incompetence. The provision of adequate investment in higher education and research is crucial to the national interest and is a basic responsibility of government. It is noticeable that participation rate in higher education in this country is already significantly lower than, for example, that in Japan and the United States. Such a loss of opportunity of higher education is a loss to the whole of society and will surely diminish potential national wealth. Despite these severe problems, and as a result of careful husbandry, there have been a number of encouraging developments. such as the recognition at the national level of the continuing quality of our research, a major new initiative in biological sciences, and the institution of part-time undergraduate degree courses. These and continuing education courses of various types will be of increasing importance to the community. These developments, together with others, such as, for example, the establishment of new chairs in microelectronics and of molecular biology, and of a Centre for the Study of Ageing, and the creation of the Manchester Science Park on the west side of the university campus, will further the existing links with the city, the region and its industry, and continue to contribute to the national interest. Thus, in adjusting to an imposed situation, the university is at the same time responding to the needs of society. You, as graduates of the university, will similarly meet the need for adjustment to change in your chosen careers, perhaps many times. We hope and trust that your education will be equal to this role. Experience tells us that for many of you, reliance on re-education through professional literature and associations will be the principal means available. For others, a return for a time to this or other institute of higher learning, perhaps to seek further advanced qualifications, will be the way forward. In conclusion, I should point out that while today marks the achievements of those about to graduate, it's also a very happy occasion for the academic staff of the university on seeing their labours brought to fruition. May I offer all of you my congratulations.
The Pro Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Rahat Ahmad. Hugh Phelps Guns.
Congratulations,
Thank you. Nigel John Holden.
Congratulations, well done. Thank you, Russell.
Mr. Pro Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Alison Mary Bruce.
Congratulations, well done.
Jonathan Gerald England.
Well done. Congratulations.
Ian Harrison. John Peter Francis Jeffries.
Well done. Congratulations.
And Simon Charles Page.
Well done. Congratulations.
The Pro Vice-Chancellor, I present to you, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Master of Business Administration, Elizabeth Jane Berkby.
Congratulations, well done.
Mark David Greaves. Morris Eliho Abudi.
Well done. Congratulations.
Jeremy James Armand. Donald Austin, Nicholas Paul Battersby, Felicity Louise Blair, Jonathan Mark Bown, Stephen John Brunswick, Mark Hatton Byrne, David Cardwell, Alistair Roy Clark, Nicholas Damien John Couchman, Jonathan Philip Davey, Emmanuel Elaferio, Peter Justin Ranald Elliott, Andrew James Evans, Simon Paul Thomas Frayne, Shiro Fujitsu, Anthony Paul Hanlon, Stephen Paul Hart, Joanna Barbara Haxby, Deborah Catherine Hudson, Mark Jeffrey David Holden, Andrew Robert Inslee, Richard Andrew Irvin, James Stewart Johnson, Akira Kawamura, Christopher Paul Kay, Noel James Leeson, Marianne Sian Mun Lee, Stelios George Louisides, Stuart Robert McKnight, Mark James Mason Jones, Mark Lennox Millard, Melissa Catherine Morse, Ezard Norman Nesbitt, Teek Sangoon, Masayuki Osito, Stephen Chai Yun Pan, William Henry Pears, Kiran Patel, Sangam Vinabai Patel, Muhammad Ali Pervez, Michael John Ruston, Pamela Jones Street, Andrew Townsend, Andrew Christopher Unsworth, Wichitra Wanesorn, Peter Jeffrey Willie, Taik Ming Wong.
Mr. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Master of Science in the Faculty of Science, Hossein Mirzai. Timothy O'Farrell. Morag Marwick Potter. And Janan Swage.
Mr. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electronic and Electrical Engineering with honours, Stuart Edward Brasnell, Sean David Cochran, Ian James Hadfield, Michael Robert Wistow Manning, Andrew James Reynolds, Michael Barry Roche, Inderpal Singh Tumba, Vipul Amin, Andrew John Ashiel, Tak Chan, Y. Kuan Alexis Chung, Michael Patrick Robert Collins, Peter John Halliwell, Hiralal Ramji Harji, Andrew Heaton, Nicholas Adrian Ernest Hayes, Richard Chung Kwok. Richard Keith McCandless. Martin Benjamin Pryor. Philip Scaramangas. Calvin Stanfield. Paul Thornburg. Ming Quan Wong. Eddie Hao Tak Yung. Yu Lung Rami Cheng. Peter Fock. John Paul Francis. Sarah Caroline Harlow. Henry Frank Luca. Sing Hung Mak. Grant Melrose. Simon Ramsdale. Terence Edward Simmons. Patrick G. Tam. Alistair John Robert Taylor. Stephen Charles Townley. Michael Richard Byrne. Robert Nicholas Cunliffe. Hanif Mohammed Amirali Hussein Damji. David Hatch. Philip Gordon Matthew Lehman. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Jane Fitzsimons, and David Michael Regan.
Mr. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you, for the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours in Physics, Ian Andrew Abraham. Jonathan Richard Barnaby. Timothy Robert Cashmore. Simon Ritson Dewsnup. Nigel William Haynes. Anthony Carl Hamer.
Peter Stewart Hind. Michael Richard James. Jeremy Frank Leach. Richard Graham Leach. Richard Graham Lloyd. Jerome Richard McCarthy. Ian Nicholson. Robert Desmond Shackleton. Thomas Hanschel Sherrington. Jessica Helen Smith. Dean Alan Thornton. Julian Darren White. Timothy M. Bowles. Kim Brooks. Richard Mark Butler. Peter Neil Camage. John Leslie Cam. Norman Barnabas de Souza. Michael Davis. Owen William Davis. Fiona Patricia Galley. Janet Miles Havercroft. Malcolm Timothy Hickman. Robin John Hubbold. Martin Ainsley Howe Snaith. Dorian Francis Kennedy. Brian Nigel Krasner. David John Lithgow. Andrew Guy Nurse. Stephen Mark Orrell. Stuart Douglas Parker. Susan Elizabeth Partridge. Marion Stewart. Simon Lee Tomlinson. Christopher John Walker. Gary Duncan White. Nigel Edward Patrick Williams.
Thank you.
Anthony Allen Wills. Andrew Christopher Graham Wood. Martin Ian Wood. William Rask Adams. Atanyu Bhattacharjee. Honorin Duncan Bradstock. Robert Conrad Browns. Stephen James Broughton. Paul Anthony Chan. Simon Harvey Cleaver. Richard John Cooper. John Anthony Doyle. Gregory Paul Eaton. Giles Anthony Elliott. Paul Quentin Foxwell Gaze. Michael Paul Griffiths. Stephen Michael Hawley. Sandra Bernadette Hilawi. David John Herty. Yoko Ishiguro. Paul Latimer. Jennifer Elizabeth Leslie. Andrew Gordon Leatheran. Penny Elizabeth Letts. James Andrew Lynch. Patrick John McGeever. Peter Patrick Murphy. Howard Anthony Oakes. Martin James Salter. Helen Simpson. Adrian Barry Wellborn. Robert Alexander Kwok Ho Yoing. Emilia Elizabeth Ziba. Richard Anthony Davis. Simon John Holden. Martin Robert Latimer. Richard George Justin Leach. Mark Milsom. Michael Andrew Rowbottom. Sarah Elizabeth Spillane. John Nicholas Thorpe. Hatem Ibrahim Zaina. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics, Paul Louis George Mendoka Michael Home. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Physics and Computer Science, Roy Stephen Coote, Nigel Allen Whittaker, Robert Edward Fields, Trevor John Larkham, James Peter Tagg, Malcolm Thompson, Damon Vincent Wade, and John Peter Scott.
Mr. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University, I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Physics and Electronic Engineering, Mortiza Moghisi. Philip George Howard Smith. Simon Anthony Beck. Richard Nigel Chappell. Joseph Chan. Susan Jill Davey. Tak Man Lam. Simon James Potkins. Kanwajit Singh. Chi Kwen So. David Anthony Collier. Donald Stewart Cruikshank. Stephen Andrew Lark. Michael Casey Wood. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics and Electronic Engineering, Brian Gerald Reed.
Salvasit Universitas Nostra Mancuniensis hoc precantes consurgamus.
Now, perhaps a final word. This university, like many others, has had a pretty hard time over the last few years, largely because of the cutback in government funding. This has caused great pain and great difficulty. And we can foresee that there are going to be major changes in the university system across the country. But equally, we have very great confidence that we can confront these and come forward with important innovations and new solutions. There is great optimism in this university. And we rely to a great extent on you, our graduates, to back us in this new enterprise. So now, congratulations and good luck. I hope everything goes very well with you.